KSI's fight breaks into DAZN's top 5 most watched boxing match in the history of the platform, only being outperformed by Joshua and Usyk and Canelo and Bivol. That says a lot, and that right there is the beginning of the end of boxers. I said it a while ago, the whole YouTube boxing thing wasn't a good thing. A lot of people said that it was. It brings eyes to the sport, it brings new fans, and the truth of the matter is, it does not bring new fans, okay? Those people follow them from whatever platform that they came from. Nobody actually stays inside of boxing as a fan. They only tune in for that moment and then they're right back out. That's the problem with boxing in general, okay? Because the true boxing fans is a minority. It's a small pool. It's not really a lot of them that exist. People are not really fans of the technical side of boxing. They are attracted to the theatrical side. The theatrical side and the clown show of boxing is actually what sells and what drives boxing, and that's actually the core base, and it's casual. So people can say, yeah, it brings people to the sport, but it actually doesn't, because they don't stay inside of boxing. And why would they stay inside of boxing? Boxing underperforms as far as giving a consistent fight and a consistent roster of good fights. All right, so it cannot hold on to the fans at a game. Okay, so you can use the term hired and fired in the same day. That's exactly what boxing is. They'll tune in for that moment, but they'll be right back out. They don't return right after that event or whatever fight that they were looking forward to watching. Right after that's done, they don't come back and double back on boxing. But the reason why this is such a monumental thing is simply the fact that since boxing is casual based and boxing is viewed from a casual viewpoint, then that means that these YouTube boxers can perform and give the boxing fans more of what they want than the actual boxers. Number one thing is they're entertaining, or they have a character, or there's something about them, or they have a following or a fan base, or whatever it is you want to call it. But they got that basis covered because that's the world that they come from. And that's the area in which boxers lack: personality exposure. Okay? And as far as putting on the show, I think people halfway want to see two people who really don't know how to box, because it makes for a more interesting fight, a more of a back and forth fight, a more of a rock'em sock'em robot type of fight. That's why they really tune into it. If it got more technical, if it's on the more technical side, you lose more of the casual fan base. So these YouTube personalities, or whatever you want to call them, they can perform in a way that boxers never can. And being that boxing is a business, first, second, and third, then what do you think they're thinking when they're looking at these numbers? Pretty soon, they're only going to keep boxers around to pay sanctioning fees. But as far as the casual money builder, revenue builder of boxing, they're going to lean more towards this kind of stuff, because they're going to say that's where the money is, and what company is not going to go where the money is? You know, and a lot of this could be changed if boxers really understood that their job just doesn't stop in the gym. You know, you have to build some kind of presence. You have to have some kind of presence. And like I said, that's the world that they come from. And since that's the world that they come from, and it proves that the boxing fan base, which is casual majority, don't really care if you got skills, or if you got a belt, or you got an undefeated record, or they show that they really don't care about that at the end of the day. So all those belts, all that pedigree, all that, it actually counts for nothing in the big wide scope of the business of selling boxing. It actually means nothing, because it shows you the guys that really don't know much about the sport, really haven't boxed, just picking it up for whatever, shits and kicks and whatever and whatnot, it shows that they don't mind, that they still will tune in, and they're more interested in those things simply because the character factor is bigger. The presence is bigger. So since the presence is bigger and they're more aware of their personalities and these people characters, they're more interested in the clash. Because sometimes matching the best against the best because of skill and record is not good enough in the business of boxing. That's why boxing has to have these theatrics. And this is something that I wholeheartedly praise Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury is one person that really understands this element of boxing, and he pushes it. He's probably about the only one that understands it and executes it on a elite level how it's supposed to actually be. Everybody else, there's no personality, there's nothing there, there's no drama, there's no nothing. Another person who had this spark, or that was good in this area, was actually Adrian Broner. That's why he could still come back and get paydays today, you know, if he can ever keep his head on straight, because he's a character. It's not his boxing. He has plenty of losses, you know, so it shows that's not it. It shows you how much having character will carry you in the sport, which once again, I ask people, is it more important to be popular in the sport, or to have the pedigree, the resume, the belts, you know, the pound for pound status, or like what's better in boxing? Like I said, and at the end of the day, it's up to the individual to decide what they really fancy. And at the end of the day, the numbers are coming back, and they're showing that the boxing public, which is majority casual, is favoring the character side, the drama side, the theatrical side. They don't care about them belts. You know, they don't care about them records. They don't care about them resumes. Not really. Not the people who, not the money that the boxing, the business of boxing wants to go after. Those people care about that. Us, well, we care about the belts. We care about the rankings. We care about the pound for pound. We care about the best fighting the best. We care about that. They just care if the drama is big enough, we want to see the fight. So boxing has always been split between these two, but back in the day it was more married together, and it was a more exciting era of boxing. People didn't get paid as much, and I'm pretty sure promoters and everybody wasn't making as much money, especially if the fighters weren't making as much money. So that's why it was better competition, and it was more entertaining fights as far as for the hardcore. But the thing about the fights of the yesteryears, it entertained both the hardcores and it entertained the casuals. That's the thing about those fights back in those days. They was able to capture both. And it's entertaining and exciting and interesting for both. That's what this era is missing today. And pretty soon, they're going to be obsolete, only kept around for sanctioning fees. But the big paydays and all that stuff, the boxer's going to be on the undercards of YouTubers. The numbers don't lie. And what business or what company don't chase the money? That's all I got on this. Like, comment, subscribe. Bruce Van, I'm out.